So this time on our BJJ chat, we're lucky enough to be joined by our instructor, master, professor, guru, Kev Capel, Roger Gracie, third degree? Second degree. Oh, okay. Forget it, cancel the movie. I thought I was a first degree the other day because I got my black belt. You're not, right? That's the first stripe.
Yeah, I think in judo, your first black belt is first dan, but I think in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, first dan is when you get first stripe.
So just a black belt.
Just a black belt.
Just a black belt.
Barely black belt.
Barely black belt. Thanks, Kev. So, the idea of our channel is that we have lots of videos that someone, if they can't get to training that day, can watch the videos and learn a little bit of technique, and hopefully it's a bit more fun than the normal boring instructionals. So, do you have advice for like white belts, someone that's just a couple of months into training?
I think the first thing is just to try and understand the game of what we're actually doing here, broad outline. So, I think white belts, if you can work on your survival first, how to not get tapped, understand what's a good position, what's a bad position, and then how to survive in a bad position, so you can kind of be on the mat in the fight for longer. I think guys who just focus straight away on submissions, as soon as you avoid their submissions, they're kind of easy meat. Whereas the guys who are able to survive and escape side control, not get armbarred when they're in your guard, they tend to be on the mat for longer, actually training, and so they progress better. So I think survival first, and try and understand the position. I'm on top in the mount, I'm winning. I'm underneath in the mount, I'm in a bad position, I should be working to get out. Once they kind of get that understanding, the techniques and the learning becomes a little bit easier.
And the opposite end of the spectrum, so for people that watch our videos that are maybe jiu-jitsu instructors, you've obviously taught a lot of cage warriors fighters, high level guys, a few black belts. What's your advice for the other end of training higher level like athletes and performers?
I think when you're new, getting something out of the training is easy. You just turn up and you'll get something. But when you get a little bit further down the road, now you have to be a little bit smarter about how you get something out of the training, because there's going to be situations for some people where they are literally the best in the academy on that day. So to find they're not under the same pressure as someone who's maybe a bit further down. So as a coach, I'm trying to make the sessions as useful to the more experienced guys as possible. If a guy's got a fight coming up, so maybe I can't give him the toughest rounds of the day, or we haven't got anyone in the gym on that day to give him the toughest rounds, but if we can send him away with a new bit of information, something to work on, or even as simple as put them in the bad position to start with, so now they've got to work back, so they're always at that kind of handicapped disadvantage, so they get more from their training. I think that's really your job as a coach, to make sure that they get the most out of the sessions they turn up for. Try and give them something to go away with.
So as a coach then, how do you deal with people that are really tall and lanky
or short and unathletic,
and that you want to get rid of because you don't want them as students anymore?
I've never come across that yet.
Yes.
On the opposite end, if someone's like really unathletic and their body's just not built for any kind of sport, kind of short, fat, follically challenged, like, how do you deal with that? Do you just like look at them and be like, alright, that's 50 quid a month, at least I get something out of it? Like,
personally, I know you're joking, but
but it's hard to deal with it.
Jiu-jitsu is like something I feel is for everybody, and I think it has something to offer in lots of different ways. There's guys that are going to try and compete at the very top level of martial arts, which in my opinion is like the UFC or Bellator, a high level tournament, which is going to involve good technical understanding, and it's going to involve athleticism, and it's going to involve like a lot of hard work. And then you've got guys who turn up here, they work a 9 to 5, they're in their 50s.
Don't go there, Chris.
They have a matching outfit.
It's not reasonable to put them under the same kind of pressure, but it doesn't mean that they can't get something from the session. So I think really you just try and make the jiu-jitsu fit them rather than them fit jiu-jitsu. You'll find something for everyone.
So So I'm going to ask you a question about Ben's pet peeve, and we've discussed this on the channel before.
Which one?
But what do you think of? Do you think people should compete? Because maybe I have a different opinion on this.
Okay, I don't. But for a start, I don't think anyone should do anything. You know, I don't feel like I'm in a position in any walk of life to go, you should pay your taxes, or you should wear your seatbelt, or you should compete, you shouldn't compete. Personally, I try and run at zero where I don't have an opinion on that kind of thing. However, anecdotally from my students, I think people get a lot from competition, whether they win, lose, draw. Personally, I've competed for the last 18 years in judo, mixed martial arts and Brazilian jiu-jitsu at varying levels. And I find that as uncomfortable as a thing it is to do, I always find it very rewarding. And I find that as a path to human growth, to kind of like better yourself, I think competition's a very powerful tool. Although I understand it's not for everybody. Like, it's a stressful experience, and it's an experience where, you know, you can't get away from it.
It's like talking to really tall, lanky.
That's not shit on me, yeah.
Like if someone's already got a lot of stress in their life, you know, for whatever it might be, family, work, health, their friends around them, whatever it might be, students. You know, sometimes the stress level's already high enough. And you don't need that in your life. You don't need to be worrying, shit, I've got a British Championship next week and I've hardly trained. It just makes everything uncomfortable. But if they're in a place where they feel that from some kind of step outside their comfort zone, some kind of organised stress, they feel they get some personal development from it, then competition is great for that. Also, it's going to highlight the holes in your personal game much quicker, because sometimes you can be on the mat in a gym where there isn't guys your size, there isn't guys your weight or your belt level, and you can be big fish in a little pond. You need to go out to these tournaments and go against guys that are also 82 kilos and a purple belt and super athletic, and are going to test you. You know, so you know you might be having it easy in the gym, and then someone just could run straight through your guard in competition. You go, okay, right, I need to work this, I need to work that. How can I stop that happening again? Competition will plug the holes much quicker than just recreational training.
Well, it's just a truth that you can't deny, right?
It is a very cold, hard look at yourself in many ways, even in the preparation to it, because you're going to have self-doubts, you're going to have fears of making a fool of yourself or not performing to your expectations, and you will you will have to quieten down the negative, insecure side and just tell it to be quiet, and that's a very useful thing to do as well.
Do you know, I know exactly how you mean about that, because that negative thing that needs to quieten down, it's in there. I try and quieten it down all the time.
It's an odd dichotomy, because you train for competition and you're constantly trying to find weaknesses to like fix, but then you also want to go and feel really confident, like you're going to win gold. You know?
No, I think when you're getting ready for competition, I think you should be working your A game and working on the things that you want to have and the things that you think you're good at, and then ultimately you'll either be told that you're on the right track and you were correct to train those things after the competition, or you'll have a really bad day at comp and go, you know what, I focused on all the wrong things. Like, I mean, one thing I worked on for one of my competitions at a brown belt, I literally just wrestled for 8 weeks in preparation to it, right? We come out, slapped hands, and the guy took me down for double leg, and then I was in my guard. I've just been working takedowns for 8 weeks, and now I'm on my back in my guard, and I managed to end up winning the match. But for a good couple of minutes, it's like, man, I just neglected this whole area, and it was just a lesson straight away from me. So I think competition is very good for getting those learning things out. But Conor McGregor spoke about it with or actually his coach John Covenant spoke about it for the Habib fight, how he feels they were too defensively minded. Now, whether it'll change the outcome of the fight or not, it isn't for me to say, but I think you do have to go in trying to be the hammer. And have something in your back pocket if it turns out actually in this situation you're the nail, you know, how I can turn it around to survive. But competition is about winning the fight. I mean, Miyamoto Musashi wrote a whole book on strategy of fighting. One of the things that I pulled out from that book more than anything else is that the aim of a fight is to win the fight, and as soon as you're looking at anything else that isn't related to you winning the fight, you're missing the point. You You know, it has to be. You know, you hear people say, "Oh yeah, I want to put on a show for the crowd." No, you need to win the fight. That's the first thing. Maybe as a consequence of winning the fight, you'll have put on a show for the crowd. That's different. But if you're going out there to put on a show for the crowd, you miss the point. You've got to win the fight. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, I found I did the role models comp, and it's the first one with heel hooks, and I just spent the whole prep drilling heel, like leg lock escapes. And it was completely the wrong thing, because then in the match, the whole time I was paranoid it's going to grab my foot. And then this time I trained loads of leg lock attacks. And even if they got my foot, because I'm good at attacking, I know what they're trying to do, so I know they escape anyway. But more likely to be able to get out. It seemed more logical to drill the offense than the defense.
Yeah, they have to put you on the defensive. You can't just go defensive straight away. You're giving them an advantage. If they can manage to put you into a defensive mode, then we have to be ready for that. That's what the training's for. That's why we will start with people on our back in training, start with people in the mount, so we can work our defences. But in a match, you're not going to give them an advantage. You need to be trying to...
I think I have pulled mount before, but yeah, I know.
You know, when I was boxing, one of my coaches used to go out, used to say, go out there and try and hit them straight away, right in the nose with a stiff jab, win their respect, get that front foot forward.
And then the nerves coming forward.
You know, and I think the same with grappling. If you're aggressive, even if you're pulling guard, which is technically not an aggressive move, if you do it aggressively, pull guard, start sweeping, start attacking with submission straight away. The guys in that defensive mode, you know, you've got a defensive and offensive mindset going on. And if you're in the offensive mindset, you're ahead.
Nice.
Awesome.
So Kev, I mean, obviously we've got you on here, but I think it's quite important that you obviously pitch your gym for any guys want to come down and train with you and give us hassle as well.
Book a seminar.
Yeah. No, well, we're based in Aylesbury Town Centre. I've been here for a little while now. We have a friendly gym. We train hard, but we're very friendly. I'm open to visitors. Any affiliation, any team affiliation, I'm not worried about all that kind of stuff. The door's open. If you come and train with respect, train hard, everybody's welcome. So come and check.
So do you want to give out your website? So we'll put it on there.
rgabucks.com.
Nice.
That's it.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for watching the channel, and come and train with Kev. You'll love it. We're out.
Thanks guys.